Hello, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Today, the lesson is one of the great grammar lessons. So I've talked before about how grammar is the backbone of English. It's important that we know grammar. And the three things that we need to do are to talk about what we're doing now, what we did in the past, and what we're going to do in the future. So past, present, and future. I call it time travel. No, time travel with tenses. So today we're going to do past tense. Oh, that's hard to say, isn't it? The past tense, the simple past tense. Okay, so we're thinking of sentences like, I woke up, I made a cup of tea, I walked, I jumped, I ran. There's no was in this. That's a different tense altogether. So I was jumping would be the past continuous. We're not doing that today. We're doing the very simple past tense today. I love it. Why, you ask? Because it's great for storytelling. And when we are talking with people, we are always telling stories about ourselves. You might not be telling the story of Cinderella or the Little Mermaid, but you're telling a story about your life, your family, what you did last night, what you hope to do next week. It's a story about you. And this is a fantastic tense for storytelling. Okay. Very similarly, if you are to talk about a sequence of events, so one thing happened, and then another thing happened, and then another thing happened. So you've got a sequence of events that occurred in the past. That's another story. And this tense is great for sequences of events. I always say we're not doing this for exams. This is about you as a confident communicator in English. However, talking about things in sequence is something that we often have to do in an exam or if we're in an interview. So, Mr. What did you do at university last year? Question in an interview. You would go into this tense, you would start to talk about what you did, the sequence of events, and what you learnt at university the previous year. Okay, right. So I'm going to make this very simple, choose some examples, and we're going to work through them. I might set you a quiz at the end with some gaps to fill in. Okay. I woke up at 7 and then I made a cup of tea. After that, I walked to the office. Then I met Julie and Tim for an hour. So we're going to do two things here. Look at the verbs. Let's pick out the verbs. So as I read it, I want you to be thinking, where's the verb? Where's the action word? Okay. And then we're going to look at the joining words I've put in to make it feel more of a sequence, more of a story. Right, so the first one, spot the verb. I woke up at 7, or just I woke at 7. Yeah, the verb is woke, and it's an irregular. Of course, it's an irregular verb. There are so many of them. And then I made a cup of tea. I gave you a lot of clues there about the verb. It's made. After that, I walked to the office. Okay, I think most of you will find the verb there very easily. Walked. Then I met Julie and Tim for an hour. Okay, where's the verb there? Met. I met. Now, with this simple past tense, we often add sequencing words. Let me give you some examples. First, then, after that. Okay, last night, before. Those sequencing time-linked words. And I have put some in here. Today, when choosing the sentences, I've made them into connected sentences. So they are telling a story. Okay, so let's look at those. I woke up at 7 and then I made a cup of tea. After that, I walked to the office. Then I met Julie and Tim for an hour. Okay, so let's do it in fast English for you to listen. I woke up at 7 and then I made a cup of tea. After that, I walked to the office and then I met Julie and Tim for an hour. Okay, well done, everyone. Now we're going to think about a slightly different use of this simple past tense. We can talk about things that started and finished at a specific time in the past and that have no link, no connection to the present. Okay, so some languages have these tenses, others it's different. That's why past tense is so difficult for most of us learning a different language. So something that started and finished at a specific time. Okay, and it's no longer happening. And I'm going to give you 3 of them. I went to the leisure centre yesterday. So you went to the leisure centre yesterday. It's gone, done, finished. And it was specifically yesterday. I saw a band at Glastonbury last year, the very famous Glastonbury Festival in England. So you saw a musical band, a group, playing at Glastonbury last year. Okay. Now, two different verbs here. I'll do it with the first one because I set this with got, and then I realized you could use lots of other verbs. And this is an important one. I got my A levels in 2010. I got my A levels in 2010. So you passed your advanced level exam in 2010. You could say, I passed my A levels in 2010. Both are right. I passed my A levels in 2010. And we often add a time word or a phrase to sentences in the simple past tense. Okay. The best thing to do is work through some examples. So I'm going to go through them and leave a gap so that you can think about the missing word. Actually, because I feel kind today, I'll read some first and you can read them with me and copy them, and then I leave a gap. So it's easy first. Here's the first sentence. We went to the cinema last night. Okay, so I'm going to say it and then you can repeat it after me. Okay, I'll do that again and then we will continue. We went to the cinema last night. Your turn. Right. I saw a shooting star last summer. Your turn. Put some quite advanced vocabulary in there, but you can all look up on Google what a shooting star is. Okay. I passed my driving test in 2025. Your turn. Super. I pushed the trolley in the supermarket. Your turn. I made a sandwich. I made a sandwich. Your turn. And we don't say sandwich, we say sandwich. So listen carefully to that. After that, I listened to music. Your turn. Right, last one of these. Then I met Julie and Tim at the cafe. Your turn. Absolutely super. That was great. Now, I'm going to leave a gap for the verb. These are not going to be difficult. You will be fine. But I'm going to leave a gap and then I'll tell you the answers. So the first one, ready? A sandwich. Okay. Have a think about that missing verb. Next one. His essay. We'll go through the answers to all of them at the end. Okay. She to her mum's house. Next one, you a chocolate cake. Next one, Sasha a lemon cake. They to the shops. And I've been kind again because there are some regular verbs in there, but let's go through them. And it's handy for you to start thinking, is that regular verb or is that one of those pesky irregular verbs? The ones that you have to learn by heart. So the top one there is I made a sandwich. You might have said, I ate a sandwich. Yeah, my answer isn't the only one with these. You may have come up with something different. And if you have a query after the lesson, write it in the comments and I'll get back to you. He finished his essay. Alternatives might be he wrote his essay, okay? She drove to her mum's house. I've given you the verb at the beginning as a hint, but of course alternatives would be she walked. Okay. You made a chocolate cake. Sasha made a lemon cake. They walked to the shops. Okay. So the verb to make becomes made. The verb to finish becomes finished. The verb to drive becomes drove. The verb to make becomes made. And the verb to walk becomes walked. Okay. Wow. Well done. You are all phenomenal for working through that tense today. Congratulations. It's a hard one, but oh so useful. So some of you, A1, A2 level, it may be the first time that you've looked at that tense. Some of you at B level and into C level, this is going to be revision, but that's always time well spent too. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. If you feel like subscribing, it would be, here's the big word, phenomenal. Okay. Any queries, write them under the video. And there is a community page for posts on the channel. So any ideas, anything, do feel able to use that so it feels more like a community. So see you next time and have a good day. Bye.